Hello everyone, welcome back. You are in English Advanced Tutorial. Continuous practice on these exercises will improve your knowledge and this will be helpful for your examinations. The new ones are requested to subscribe this channel so that they can get the notifications of every material timely. Now let's start the practice set. This is the first question. Book a table for us. Actually, this is being told to anyone to book a table for us. So, see now this is the verb here, book. A table. A table is the object here because if you question by what, then the answer is a table. We have to book a table. That is why a table is the object here. For us, this is just the rest part of the sentence. So we have to work with this phrase, book a table. This part will be changed into passive form. Actually, this is in active voice. We have to convert it in a passive voice. Now see this rule. When there will be this type of imperative sentence, you have to follow this type of rule. This rule you have to follow this rule. At first, write let, then write the object. Here, the object is a table. Then write a be. A be verb will be there because it is an imperative sentence, and so a be will be used here. Then write the past participle form of the verb. Here, the verb is book. This is the verb. Then the rest parts of the sentence. Here, the rest part of the sentence is for us. Now, see the answer. This is the passive voice here. At first, according to this rule, we have written here let, then the object. Here the object is a table. We have written here a table. Then we have added a be. According to this rule, we have added here a be verb. Then we have written the past participle form of the verb booked. This is the main verb, and we have written here the past participle of this verb booked. Then we have written the other parts of the sentence. So the answer is let a table be booked for us. I advise you to follow this rule when there will be this type of imperative sentence. This is the second sentence. Do not be cruel to the animal. Actually, this is also an imperative sentence. Anyone is being advised through this sentence. Do not be cruel to the animal. In this type of sentence, we have to use you are requested, you are advised, this type of phrase. And then we have to write the remaining parts of the sentence. Now, this is the passive form of the sentence. Actually, this sentence is in active voice, and this is the passive voice. You are advised. Advice is being given to anyone. That is why we have used here you are advised. This phrase has been used here. Then we have to write here not to be, because this is a negative sentence. Do not, this is a negative sentence. Here is a not in the sentence. That is why we have written here not to be cruel to the animals. This is the other remaining part, and this remaining part has been positioned here like the original sentence. So the actual answer is you are advised not to be cruel. This is the third sentence. One should keep one's promise. Here is a should. This is an active voice, and here is a should in the original sentence. Should. That is why we have to use in the passive voice should be. This is the passive voice. A promise should be kept. Whenever there is this type of sentence, one should keep one's promise or one should do his duty, then we have to write the passive voice in this form. A promise should be kept. This is the object. One's promise, this has been positioned here. A promise should, this should has come here, should. Then we have added a be, because if there is should, would, could in the original active sentence, then we have to use a be verb in the passive voice. That is why a be verb has been used here. Should be. Then we have written here the past participle form of the verb kept. This is the original form keep, and this is the past participle form of the main verb kept. So the actual answer is a promise should be kept. You can also write this option. Actually, the difference is once promise. This once promise, this is the object, and this has come in the beginning of the sentence. Once promise. Here we have written a promise, and this here we have written once promise in this option. So once promise should be kept. The other part is the same as this sentence. So you can write either this option, this first option, or the second option. Poison it or trap it. This is also being asked to anyone, and this is also an imperative sentence. I advise you to follow this rule. First, write let, then the object, then a be verb, then the past participle form of the verb, then the rest part of the sentence. We have already discussed about this rule in the beginning of this discussion. This is the passive voice. First, we have written here let. Here, the object is eat, because we have to trap, because someone is being asked to trap eat, to poison or trap eat. So, eat is the object here. We have written here eat. Then we have added a be verb according to this rule. Then poisoned, this is the past participle form of the verb. Then poisoned, this is the past participle form of the verb. Or trapped, here is the sentence trap. This is, so we have written here poisoned or trapped. These two are the past participle form of the original verb poison or trap, and accordingly those have been written here. So the passive voice is let it be poisoned or trapped. Shall I ever forget those happy days? This is an interrogative sentence. And in an interrogative sentence, normally we have to follow this rule. We have already discussed this rule on the previous day, on the previous discussion of voice change. Now I am repeating once again this rule. First, we have to write here auxiliary verb. Here, the auxiliary verb shall, then a be verb, then the past participle form of the verb, then a by, then the objective form of the subject. Now, see the answer. According to the rule, we have to use here first the auxiliary verb. So, we have written here the auxiliary verb. See, here the auxiliary verb is shall I. Here is I, that is why before it there is the auxiliary verb shall, but here is those happy days. Actually, after that, after auxiliary verb, there is the object. Here the object is those happy days. I shall forget what? I shall forget those happy days. Therefore, this phrase is the object here. So we have written here will, the auxiliary verb, then those happy days, because will is related to those happy days, so we cannot use here shall, we have to use here will. Then a be verb, according to this rule, a be verb has been used here. Then ever, this is an adverb, so it will come between the main verb and the auxiliary verb here. Be also an auxiliary verb here. Okay, this be verb is also an auxiliary or helping verb here. So this adverb ever has come between the main verb forgotten and the be verb. So we have used here ever, then the main verb. This is the past participle form of the verb, and the main verb is forget. The past participle of this forget is forgotten. We have written here forgotten. Then a by. According to this rule, we have to use a by, and so we have written here by. Then lastly, the objective form of the subject. Here the subject is I, and the objective form of this subject I is me. That is where we have written here by me. So the answer is, will those happy days be ever forgotten by me? I think this concept is clear to you. Now see the next sentence. The artist was painting the scenery in a realistic manner. Actually, if we identify the parts of speech here, the artist, this is the subject here, was painting, was is the auxiliary verb here, painting is the main verb here. What the artist was painting? He was painting the scenery. So the scenery is the object here, and in a realistic manner. This is an adverbial phrase here. This part is an adverbial phrase here. We have to work mainly in this part of this sentence. The artist was painting the scenery. Now see the answer. The scenery, this is the passive sentence, passive voice. The scenery was being painted by the artist in a realistic manner. Actually, the scenery, this is the object here, so we have positioned it in the beginning of the sentence. The scenery was, this is the auxiliary verb, and this has been put here. This was, the original sentence is a past continuous tense, so accordingly this sentence is also being written in the past continuous tense. Then we have to use a being. Previously I've already discussed that in any type of continuous tense we have to use a being in the passive voice. So a being is used here, then the past participle form of the main verb. Here the main verb is painting, the main verb is paint. So we have written here painted, this is the past participle form. Then a by, we have used here by. Then the objective form of the subject. Here the subject is the artist, and this has no separate objective form, so the artist will come here, the artist. Now we have used here the adverbial phrase. This is the adverbial phrase here, and we have written in the last part of the sentence this adverbial phrase, in a realistic manner. So simply the answer is, in the passive voice, the scenery was being painted by the artist in a realistic manner. So students, this was today's discussion. I think the change into passive voice from active voice is clear to you, and this will help in your grammar practice and in your examination. If this video is helpful to you, please give a like and share this. I request you to write us for more videos, and we shall provide you the video on your requirement. Thank you for watching this video.